Hello, it's Daniel and welcome to this trip report. In this trip report, I'm flying with Ethiopian flag carrier Ethiopian Airlines, hence the name, from Dublin in Ireland to Madrid in Spain. I took this flight in summer 2019 as part of a trip to Madrid. On the same trip, I flew with LATAM in business class for just £80. You're probably wondering why Ethiopian Airlines operates this route. Well, this sort of flight is known as a fifth freedom flight. It's basically a flight that starts and ends, but not in the airline's country of origin. It's a little bit to get your head round. Instead of flying from the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa to Madrid and back, Ethiopian ferry the aircraft to Dublin for the day, then fly it back for the flight back to Addis Ababa in the evening. And to make a bit of extra money, the Madrid-Dublin sector is also bookable. Essentially, this is a triangular route, so the flight goes Addis Ababa, Madrid, then onwards to Dublin, and then on the return it goes Dublin, Madrid, then finally Addis Ababa. Ethiopian uses Terminal 1 at Dublin, which is great choices for food and drink, plus the security tends to be hassle-free. Ethiopian uses either the smaller Boeing 787-8 or the larger Boeing 787-9 on this route. Sometimes even their Boeing 777-200 LR makes an appearance. LR stands for long range. For this flight to Madrid, it was operated by the smaller 787-8. Ethiopian has a very colourful economy class cabin, which is in a free configuration. Ethiopian's Boeing 787-8s can seat up to 270 passengers, 24 in business class and 246 in economy. My seat for the flight was seat 12L, and the flight time was just 2 hours and 10 minutes. The flight was also great value for money. Return, it cost just £110 or €115. This breaks down to just £55 or €60 each way. Now for the taxi out and takeoff part of the video. But first, here's a word from this video's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Air Models. Air Models is one of the UK's largest online model shops. Air Models has a huge selection of models, including Airbuses, Boeings and military planes. The model selection ranges from the cheaper models all the way up to the premium collection. You can check out their website using the link in the video description. The legroom was decent. I could easily sit here on a longer flight. The seat pocket contained a sick bag, an in-flight magazine, a safety card, and another in-flight magazine. A little look at the safety card, which Ethiopian uses on both the 787-8 and the 787-9. The flight was very quiet, so I had a full row to myself. For the flight, each economy class passenger got a pillow and blanket. The blanket wasn't the softest, but the pillow was decent. The seat also had a coat hook, and the tray table was a decent size. Each passenger also got complimentary earphones. The headphones connected to the IFE system with a 2-pin adapter, and there was also a USB charging port at every seat. There was also a remote for the IFE system, however it was in a bit of an awkward place, in the left armrest. I found it was quite easy to accidentally hit a button on the remote. In economy class, all passengers got a complimentary meal. The options were either chicken or fish. I opted for the chicken. The chicken came with rice, peas and baby carrots. Then there were some other bits, which were some crackers and cheese, a bit of salad and a small roll. And finally, for dessert, chocolate cake. And to top it off, to drink I had a can of Coke Light. My verdict on the meal is one of the best meals I've ever had on a plane. Everything was rich with flavour. It all tasted great. The chicken and the dessert were my favourite bits. The complimentary headphones didn't exactly work. The sound quality was horrific, however I do think the audio jack on the IFE system might have been faulty. Throughout the flight, the cabin crew came across as very friendly and passionate, especially when they were doing the in-flight meal service. Now for a look at the in-flight entertainment system. The IFE had a decent selection of movies, TV shows, music and games, plenty to keep me occupied on the flight. There was more than enough for a long haul flight as well. The IFE's interface was also fairly straightforward to use, especially if you're not exactly tech savvy. The IFE system also featured a moving map. Most airlines' interactive maps aren't the most interactive, however I found Ethiopian's interactive map to be quite interactive. The IFE also had a list of Ethiopian's aircraft fleet. It also included the grounded 737 MAX. At the time of recording, the 737 MAX was grounded. It's only very recently returned to service, after 2 fatal crashes grounded the worldwide fleet. The toilet had mood lighting, a lot of space and it was clean, but it's nothing special, it's a toilet at the end of the day. You can tell just how quiet the flight was. I doubt there was over 100 passengers on board. Business class did look fairly busy, but business class always tends to be busy on most flights. I was on this trip with Nick and Fergus. Make sure to check out their channels as well. One thing I didn't notice until later on was the seat had adjustable headrests. Even though the remote location was a bit annoying, it was handy to have to play certain games. I played this pool game with the touchscreen at first, but eventually ended up using the remote. This particular 787 is actually a terrible teen. For those who don't know what a terrible teen is, it's the name given to early 787 airframes that rolled off the production line, but they were actually faulty. All the earliest built 787s are heavier than the newer ones and burn a little bit more fuel. They also had a few other problems during production. This 787 that operated the flight to Madrid was the 14th built 787 and was meant to go to All Nippon Airways ANA, who are one of Japan's main airlines. They refused to take this airframe. Eventually, Russian airline Transaero were meant to take it, but they went under and it was not delivered to them. Eventually, Ethiopian Airlines took delivery of it in July 2016, nearly 6 years after the airframe first rolled off Boeing's final assembly line. Throughout the descent, the sunset was absolutely stunning. Now for the landing clip into Madrid. Overall, the flight from Dublin to Madrid with Ethiopian Airlines was really good. The seats were comfortable, the food was superb, the IFE was decent and the cabin crew were friendly and passionate. I have nothing bad to say about this flight whatsoever. I would go as far to say that that in-flight meal was one of the best I've ever had on a plane. It was really that good. Finally, the value for money was great. I would definitely fly with Ethiopian Airlines again in the future. I was really impressed with everything and enjoyed the overall experience. I also think Ethiopian Airlines is slightly underrated compared to some of the other airlines in the African region. I would also put this flight up there as one of my favourite flights to date. Sadly, however, the Madrid-Dublin part of the route is no longer flown by Ethiopian. You can fly it still though with either Ryanair, Aer Lingus, Iberia or Iberia Express, but the experience just will not be the same. Ethiopian stopped flying Madrid to Dublin at the end of summer 2019. The route only lasted for summer 2019 before getting suspended. Thanks for watching this trip report. I hope you have enjoyed it and stay tuned for the next one.